Alright guys, so today's video is going to be me introducing my LTR to you guys. I saw a couple people were commenting saying they want to see videos about the LTR. So I'm just going to make this little introduction video, and then hopefully the videos to follow will be me, you know, addressing a few issues that this bike has, because it does have a few issues. It's had the issues ever since I bought it. I just, you know, never ironed them out or whatever. So a little bit of the background on this bike. It's a 2008 LTR450. I bought it out of Michigan, and I want to say 2018. It was either 2018 or 2019. I bought it out of Michigan, not running. Paid $1,000 for it. When I got it home, I dug into it and I saw that the piston rings were like stuck in the grooves. They were like frozen in the grooves. And I'm guessing that's why I wouldn't start, because it didn't have any compression, because the piston rings were stuck in the grooves. And the piston had like wash marks on it from like, you know, like water getting down inside the cylinder or whatever. But the inside of the motor wasn't rusty or nothing. So I don't know what happened. Some kid had it or whatever, and you know, it was a little beat up when I got it. There was like 7 plugs in each tire on this bike, no lie. And it had steel wheels on the front and the OEM rims on the back. The tires were bald as shit. Yeah, whoever had this, you know, they didn't take care of it. But, you know, it is what it is. I love people like that, because then I get stuff for cheap. But me being me, I get it for cheap, and then I turn around and cram a bunch of money into it. So what I did to this bike is I powder coated the frame, powder coated the subframe, powder coated the Nerf bars, painted the A-arms, because you can't take the ball joints out of them, and they're filled with oil and all that, or grease. So I painted those with some suspension paint that I found at Advance Auto or something. I powder coated the swing arm. I don't know if I said that. And then these wheels I bought from a friend for a good deal. And then I got them powder coated Super Root Beer, the same color as the frame on my Banshee. And then motor wise, let's jump back over here to the motor. I don't know if you guys can see that, or if you can even tell, but there's a brand new head on this bike. That's port and polished. I also got it port and polished. There's a 13-to-1 compression CP piston in there. Cylinder works. Brand new cylinder at the time when I rebuilt it. Brand new kibble white exhaust valves. Brand new hot cams, stage 1 hot cams. All this I purchased in like an engine rebuild kit from BP ATV on eBay. So it came with the cams, it came with the valves, the piston, the crank bearings, and this, all the necessary seals and everything else, gaskets and stuff that you needed to do this. Or you would need to rebuild a motor, besides the valve cover gasket. Rebuild kits usually never come with valve cover gaskets, but you know. So, you know, it came with a hot rods crank and SKF or SFK, however you say that, crank bearings. So that's all what's in there, man. That motor probably has like 30 or 40 hours on it now, because I rode this bike a good bit. You know, 30, 40 hours, that's a good bit to me. You know, that's a few days worth of riding for me, or a few weekends worth of riding for me. You know, I don't ride like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours at a time like some people. I just don't ride that much. Usually when I go out, I ride for 2-3 hours, and then that's it. You know what I mean? I'm going home. So the last time I had this bike out, I took it to Haspin Acres in Indiana last summer, and it ran good the beginning of the day because I bought a fresh brand new battery, put a fresh brand new battery in there, and it ran good. Now let me say this: if anyone is thinking about getting an LTR or owns an LTR, if you own an LTR and you ever had a voltage problem on this bike, when I say a voltage problem, meaning when the bike was running, it didn't supply the correct voltage to things like the fan and as well as back to the battery to recharge the battery, your fuel pump, your injector, all that stuff. This bike will run like crap. You know what I mean? And if you don't understand that, like I didn't understand that when I first bought it, you'll kick yourself. I was kicking myself in the butt, man. I had just sunk a bunch of money into this thing. I'm like, man, I rebuilt the whole thing. Why is it still running like crap? I checked the valves 20 million times. They were in spec. It starts, when it has a fresh battery in there, it starts, no lie, like 2 seconds, not even after you press the button. It goes, and it comes on. You know what I mean? But this bike has a voltage problem. I don't know if it's the stator or if it's the regulator rectifier. The goal in the future videos is to figure that out. I have a multimeter. I already tested it while it was running earlier, and the thing said 11 volts while it was running. You know what I mean? And it's a 12 volt battery, so there's a problem right there. It's definitely not supposed to say 11 volts. It should say anywhere between 13 to 14 volts while it's running. That lets you know that it's actually charging the battery while it's running, and it's able to deliver the correct amount of voltage to all the components on the bike that require power to run, like the fan, the injector, the fuel pump. You know what I mean? So if none of those things are getting the right voltage, it ain't gonna run worth a fuck. That's pretty much what the deal was with this bike. It ran great with a fresh battery in there, and it would run like that for a few times. You take it out, it'll run like that, and then all of a sudden, from the battery not being charged or nothing, it wouldn't completely drain the battery, but it would get to the point where the motor would crank so slow that it wouldn't start. You know what I mean? So those are issues that we're gonna jump into with this bike. I'm tired of seeing it sit in the corner. It's been sitting in the corner since last summer. This is my beater bike. This bike I can go out on and do some sketchy stuff and not be worried about, messing it up, totaling it, whatever you want to call it. So, the next series of videos on this bike, man, is going to be us trying to figure out the problem, and then, doing a few other things as well. I want to try and clean up the plastics on this. I'm not going to put new plastics on it because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to already spend a ton of money on this bike, and it's a beater bike. I don't want to spend too much more money on it. I definitely have to do something about this exhaust. This stock exhaust is garbage, and it's probably another reason why I feel like this bike doesn't put out as much power as it should with what's done to it. And this stock exhaust is one of the reasons, and the other reason is I don't have like a fuel programmer. Preferably, I would like to have a Vortex, but Vortexes are like $650 or almost $700 brand new, and I'm not trying to spend that much money on this quad. So if I could find one used in one of the LTR groups for a decent price, I'm probably definitely gonna snatch it up. If not, I'm just gonna put a power commander on it and call it a day. But that exhaust has to go for sure. It needs a little bit of brake work. That rotor's bent and it's chewed up and the pads are gone. And that little pin right there, I don't know if you guys can see it. That little pin is all chewed up from the previous owner. I guess it's seized in there and they stripped it out. And then it looks like they tried to take it out with a pair of vice grips or something. So we're gonna have to get that out and get that replaced. I have all of those parts besides the brake rotor. I have everything. There's a few little missing clips and stuff here and there. There's broke tabs on the plastics up front. It's missing a screw right there. There's like, well, that tab's good, but one of these sides, the tab's broke. So there it is right there. So we're gonna try and fix it up as best we can. And, like I said, clean these plastics up, maybe get a graphics kit on it, new front bumper, new rear bumper. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm gonna keep riding it. I have been kicking around the idea of selling it. It's a titled bike. It's got a lot of money into it with, a fresher motor. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, this is just a little video of me introducing this bike to you guys. Like I said, a couple of you said you wanted to see it. So I'm going to throw a little clip at the end of this video of me starting it earlier after I pulled it down from where it's been sitting at since last summer. It's been sitting a while. So you guys can see that and see how it ran after I pulled it down from sitting up there forever. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the end of this video, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, guys, so here we go. Let's see what happens, man. Pull these off. Try not to electrocute myself. Turn the key. Clutch in. See, it's been sitting for a while, so let's try it again. Tell something's up, it's not running the best. It's because of that battery. Lights work. So there's just some stuff I gotta figure out, guys. What's going on with this thing, man? I don't know if I'm gonna dive into it right now or wait until I finish the Banshee or what, but I'm gonna have to do something with it because, like I said, this is the one that I ride, or I will be riding the most, and I actually do ride the most out of all the bikes that I own. So yeah, I guess I'll be back when I figure out, what I'm gonna do, and I'll post another video. This is, like I said, this bike isn't the prettiest, but this is a bike like this is a good bike to have, especially if you have nicer bikes. You know what I mean? You can push the envelope on this and not worry about, fucking it up. So, all right, guys. I guess I'll see y'all in the next LTR video. Peace.